Heading towards the academy, Han was thinking about what he had learned was happening. Even though on Earth, such hate was a natural thing to happen, Han never thought that this world would mirror Earth so well. Reaching the gate into the academy, Han saw what looked like the start of a fight. He was surprised to see that it was Val, with a few of her knights behind her. Arguing with her was someone that he knew all too well. The fourth prince of the empire, Eric, was causing some kind of commotion with a few of his fellow nobles. "Do you honestly think that you are able to do anything against me?" Eric could be heard from where he was standing. "As long as I am the Lady Knight, I will use my power how I see fit. We have witnesses that will testify that you had dragged a wolf woman into an alleyway and attacked her. Though you may think you are beyond my reach, I still have control over what happens to students of this academy and will stop these acts of violence, even if I have to stand alone." Val placed a hand on the hilt of her sword, ready to use force if necessary. When Han looked at one of the people next to Eric, he was surprised to see that it was Ha-Yun standing by his side. Though he knew that there was some type of connection between the two, he was surprised that she was involved to this degree. "Lady Knight, you need to stand down. You are overstepping your powers as given to you by the student council. The prince is a foreign dignitary and must be treated with respect," Ha-Yun defended Eric. Hearing Ha-Yun defend him, Eric laughed. "You heard this, whore. I will be treated with the respect I deserve as the Empire's fourth prince. What do you think, guys?" He looked back at the other nobles. "I think we should listen to what the teacher says. I still need help with several assignments and could use some one-on-one time with her instead of arguing with the Lady Knight." One of the nobles lewdly grinned at Ha-Yun as he looked at her backside. "I think that is a fine idea," Eric laughed. Han watched all of this happening and noticed that Ha-Yun was just accepting what was being said about her, not seeming to find it surprising, as if it was a regular occurrence for the nobles to talk to her like that. Seeing how she wasn't shutting down those comments, he wondered about the things Ha-Yun had said in the past. At the same time, images of Beth went through his mind. His hand tightened as memories resurfaced. Before Han was about to run to where they were all gathered, Eric did something he wasn't expecting. "Let us see how the lady tries to deal with us, especially if she is beaten and cannot do anything." Eric lunged at Val and cried out, "I call upon the power of Earth, which makes up all things to bring me power." There was a surge of power that radiated from him, and when his fist struck Val's armor, she was sent flying back with a giant dent in her armor. "Lady Knight!" the other knights cried out, some of them rushing to her side while the others were drawing their swords. "For someone that is supposed to keep this academy safe, she is not much of a threat," Eric laughed. Val was able to get up, though there was blood leaking from her mouth. How? How did you get so strong?" She coughed, spraying blood onto her damaged armor. "You make it sound as if I am the same as you people," Eric sneered at Val and the other knights. "Nobles are naturally superior to you scum, so it's only reasonable that you are able to do nothing against us." "This is for Our Lady!" One of the knights flew towards Eric, raising his sword, prepared to kill him. In a flash, there was a clang from the knight's sword being blocked by another one. Holding the sword was Ha-Yun. "This has gone far enough. I will end this fight that will only lead to more injured on your side." Her voice was dead, like she hated having to defend Eric. "It may be done for you, but I still want to have more fun with the Lady Knight," Eric yelled, laughing as he ran towards Val, who was still on the ground, unable to move. Han quickly transported himself so that he would be able to stop Eric's attack. As Eric was chanting and releasing a devastating punch, it was stopped by Han's hand, as if Han was picking up an item off the ground. The fist had barely stopped, hovering inches away from Val's face. With her face scrunched up, bracing for an impact she was expecting to arrive. It took her a while to realize that something had happened. Opening up her eyes, she saw the fist in front of her, which hadn't budged. Looking up, Val's face revealed the shock from realizing what had stopped the fist. "E! What are you doing here?" A voice screamed out in horror. He turned his head and saw Ha-Yun grabbing her face, emotions twisting on it. Seeing him standing in front of her was something difficult for her to face, likely due to the interaction between the nobles and Eric regarding her. "I wanted to stop by to see how things were going. I must say that I am a bit surprised," Han quietly spoke. It was likely difficult for those near him to hear his words. Looking at Ha-Yun, he knew that she had heard him clearly. From the tears coming out and twisting of her mouth, Ha-Yun was devastated by the situation. "What are you people doing?" Eric's voice pierced the moment, as he was struggling to get out of Han's grasp. "Let go of me, you freak!" Eric yelled at Han, anger displayed on his face. Han looked at Eric and noticed that deep inside of Eric's eyes, there was a touch of fear. Considering how confident Eric was of his strength, the fact that Han was able to stop him as if Eric was a child had sparked fear in him. Han let go of Eric's hand, causing Eric to tumble backward and land on his back. A couple of the nobles ran to Eric and helped him up. They threw hateful glares at Han before all of them ran off. The only person left was Ha-Yun, who still looked like she was in shock. Turning his back on Ha-Yun, Han placed a hand on Val's head and healed her wounds. Val's reaction was instantaneous as she looked at him with shock. "Let us go to your office. I want to make sure that you arrive safely." Without looking back at Ha-Yun, Han placed Val's arm around his shoulders and helped her walk. Though her body was healed, she was still traumatized by the event, causing her legs to become weak. It was reasonable for someone who came so close to dying.